Hi, how's it going? Yeah, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. Honestly, I don't have a car. I don't drive. I don't want to drive. Shout out to me not living in New York, Philly, or Europe. But I've been doing Uber and Lyft, I think, like since like 2014 or something like that. I've been at it since I was a little kid, you know? Yeah. And, Uber and Lyft has been kind of popular in recent years, at least for the employment part of it. And yeah, pretty much. And I remember like Uber and Lyft would be so cheap. It'd be like $5 to get, I guess 10 miles down, I guess, or something like. And then remember just like going across the street, like 10 minutes and stuff like that would be like, less than $9 and stuff. But now I've not only seen an increase of charging of customers of like the Uber rides, the Lyft rides and stuff like that. I've also seen like less drivers and also less quality drivers. So yeah, let's get into it. But before we do, I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe, join the Chreslie gang. And this is my shirt, this is my merch. Go on Chreslie.com, CHRESLIE.com. Yeah, this is my shirt of one of many of my products and stuff like that. The rest of my, clothing and merch, stuff like that I ordered for myself, they're coming soon. But yeah, I have ebooks, clothes, shoes, you name it. So yeah, let's get on to the bit. So yeah, honestly, I've noticed this issue with buying, an Uber trip or a Lyft trip, like for some time now, honestly. I believe like since last year, but I've exclusively been noticing it the past 6 months, or I guess it's 7 months, because it's going to be February and it's January right now. But I have noticed that, and I've noticed an increase of the prices of Uber and Lyft rides, like since January 2023, in my opinion. Because I've obviously recognized that prices have went up slightly for these Uber and Lyft rides around 2022, because in 2020, 2021 wasn't really much going on. Things were cheaper in general. And I believe, I think it was generally cheaper in my opinion. I believe it was, I believe the prices was, decent for what they're charging, according to miles and stuff like that. I personally believe, like, for the tiers, the drivers you get, like, shared ride, and then you get, like a regular ride, like classic ride, Uber X, or just Lyft or whatever. And then you get comfort, and then you get, like, black, and then more and more and more. So I do believe, like, what I pay for, I get what I pay for, because I usually just get comfort, because why the fuck do I need to go to Trader Joe's in an Uber Black? I'm not going to Fleming's. Like, I don't... Like, if I'm going to the LA Zoo, why do I need to go spend $50? Why do you go spend $50 just to go in for a fancy food? Like, why do I need to do that? That doesn't make any sense. And plus, even when I spend for comfort, I get nice cars anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time. But I've noticed literally, like for example, a 30-minute trip, actually I lied, a 45-minute trip for me to go to like downtown or whatever, to different parts of my area, $30, sometimes like 26. Nowadays it's supposed to be like 40, 50, things like that. And when I want to go like Uber down the street, like 5 minutes away to somewhere, because it's like a 30-minute walk for me, but 5 minutes, your car. And somebody might be like, oh, why don't you just walk? Sometimes I'm not in the energy capacity. Sometimes I don't have the stamina to walk. I might have heavy luggage on hand, right? Or maybe dark outside night, where I won't feel safe walking outside. You know what I'm saying? Might be too cold, or probably because I just don't want to walk 30 minutes. But I remember, I usually get charged $7, $8, $9. But as of recently, even on the least busiest nights, I've been charged like 10, 11, 12 bucks. Like on like a Wednesday night, 12 a.m., no parties, no holidays, nothing coming up, charging me the heinous amount of money for nothing. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And I already been aware, probably since Uber's release. Uber's company's release. I won't be surprised for Lyft too. But it's well known for Uber that they've been losing billions of dollars for years. And obviously it's not just them, because they also work in like the the food delivery field, Uber Eats field, stuff like that. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Lyft is losing money too. But yeah, I'm not surprised if they've been losing gajillions more dollars ever since the pandemic and stuff like that, alongside with inflation and how people are spending their money and what people's financial statuses are right now. Because you can even like, it could, like, you can make true, like, let's just say the economy is stabilized and jobs are back and great again. That's great and all, but it still might take the average American some time to recuperate and get back up from where they, lost their job, lost their money. And sometimes people from the pandemic, they'll be stuck in like a trap where it'll be really hard to get out of that trap, even though they had good jobs beforehand and stuff like that. But yeah, so because of all of those factors, I do understand that Uber may be losing more money, but honestly, charging more money and not giving good service alongside with it is not helping. And also, with them charging more money, I've read on Reddit barest minimum, like, I know sometimes you can, I've noticed where to actually believe some people's like messages on there, or their like Reddit posts on there. So, but yeah, like they don't pay much, and they show proof like they don't pay much even after the price increase. And I've heard that for at least Uber, for their benefits and stuff like that, it's not the same, it's not great anymore. And also, it's also been harder to make a profit on Uber as an independent worker, specifically because ever since the pandemic, everybody and their dog or everybody and their senior grandma, like your grandma's senile with stage 3 terminal dementia, and she's over here door dashing and doing Uber on the side. Like, that's also why, like, it's been oversaturated, like grotesquely saturated, to the point where it's like the quality has gone down a bit. And I do believe Uber is losing a lot of money, and I guess they're losing a lot of money to the point where they're just letting anybody up in their circle. Because honestly, I was very curious. I'm like, oh, what's really the requirements to drive for Uber and stuff like that? And you just needed a background check, and that's it. Because even if I'm like a new driver, they'll still take me, because it's technically took me for that. But I just told them I don't have a car right now because I can't drive. But still, and that was just like, is that easy? Wow, that easy. No application, no nothing. And I think Uber, since Uber has been more lenient with that, they have been letting anyone under the sun. And I know obviously just recently, I think of last year or something, just recently, for new customers, like new workers, if they sign up to Uber, I think sometime late last year, like now and the days ahead, you have to be at least 25 years old with few years of like a driving record, like few years of good stabilized driving record, driving years of experience. So I'm just letting that out there. So I guess they are trying to tighten up and fix, their independent workers, because like ever since COVID-19, I have been through nothing but bad Uber drivers, and I'm just like, oh my god, like. And the thing is, I've been through other personal things throughout my life the past 3 years. The 4th year just came, y'all. I've been through some personal shit throughout the 3 years, and I've also been trying to get my license throughout that too. I got depressed because I was one question off from passing my written test. So yeah, and I'm still like, I'm learning how to drive, but I'm really not taking getting licensed seriously. I really don't want to drive a car. I hate it. But the thing is, like, for the drivers to be that shitty, right? That they were charging more money too. Like, at this point, I'm like, dude, just forget it. Just forget it, right? I'll just figure some other way out. I don't think I took my, like, public transport. Did I? Not too sure. I always naturally take a lot of public transport, but I don't know if I did. but basically I actually did use Uber and Lyft less, and I guess I took advantage of deliveries and my, I don't know, I guess, yeah, my public transport. Honestly, I have been doing that and walking and stuff like that. So, but like it's got so bad where I really like I'm not riding anymore, because I remember I'll pay for a two-way trip, and then the second I walk off, and they know it's a two-way trip too, the second I walk off, they'll start driving away. Like they'll drive, like literally the second I get up and walk out the car, I didn't even get a destination yet. And they're driving off. I had to call like Uber like 3 times to get my money back. And I dealt with people, older people, like above the age of 65, that couldn't really see that well when they're driving, and then for some reason they're very confused at directions and they didn't know where to go and stuff like that. They were asking me where to go. I'm like, I don't know where to go. And you have Google Maps on your phone right there. And I also dealt with people who drove recklessly, and I still kind of deal with that now. So I obviously had to take a Lyft, Uber and Lyft, stuff like that. I dealt with people who are very inappropriate. I dealt with quite a bit, and this has only been happening ever since the pandemic, which is weird. Like, ever since the pandemic, I've dealt with like verbal sexual harassment from men that tries to make sexual advances on me, things like that, which is so weird. I dealt with a woman that picked me up to take me to my destination, but she literally stepped out her car to start feeding some cats outside in the middle of the street when she was driving me. And I'm like, girl, what? I didn't pay you to go feed cats in the street while you're in the middle of taking me to my destination. And so I will say that do Lyft, don't do Uber, because Lyft has better people and better quality people. I think it's also partially because they do have a 25 and up threshold, but I have much better Lyft experience than the Uber experience. I think the worst I got with Lyft is like either somebody who talks too much, and I paid extra money for you not to be talking, and they'll be like really judgmental, and like people who overshare a lot. I get that a lot, where people will like just give me their life and overshare, but I wouldn't ask any questions. They ask me how was my day, maybe talk about a holiday that passed, and then they start talking about their aunt's boyfriend and how their aunt's boyfriend is being an asshole to them and how they're fighting and stuff like that. And then tells me about like their aunt's boyfriend's grandma is having sex with her uncle, and like she, like, I don't know, like it's really weird. I deal with that, but for the most part, besides paying for people who go past boundaries and are kind of disrespectful, and people who have dirty ass cars, besides that, the Lyft people are actually okay and a bit better, but I still get a bit bad apples. It's enough to where it's like, this is so disgusting. Like, no thank you, no thank you. I don't recommend doing Uber. Sometimes you'll get a good one, but for me, for where I live, I did not have good experiences, and they charge more. It depends. I do recommend having both the apps, because sometimes Lyft does cost more and Uber is cheaper. But an average Uber is much more expensive, and the drivers are much more lower quality, and the prices are higher. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend like even using those apps in general, but like that's what you have, because they're both just crap. Because I've never dealt with any type of harassment ever since like before COVID. Like ever since COVID happened, I've dealt with issues from the drivers of Lyft and Uber. Before COVID, no harassment, none of this, none of that. I wasn't deserted. And like I was deserted at night in the middle of nowhere for that two-way trip I said earlier. Like I didn't have any of those problems. So, you know what I mean? You see that? So I believe like Uber and Lyft was desperate, alongside a big boom of people. Like, so there's like anybody's just going there. Anybody's just going there. Oops. Anybody's just going there. So when everybody's there, that, not everybody is like good quality. So yeah, and there's been less people, and I think it's because Uber hasn't been treating them well. I think people have been busy with their own jobs and stuff like that. And also, Uber hasn't been paying these people as much, and Lyft too, even though the price has been increasing, not their, the individual driver's profits, it's not increasing. And I believe it's also because your cars can deteriorate pretty easy. Pretty much. You know, if you drive like 20 extra thousand miles a year, that can really fuck up your car easy. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And I see people on the driver apps, the driver share driver taxi apps. I see like they've been driving for 5 years, 6 years. Obviously, that doesn't mean that they've been driving 20,000 miles a year, but people do make it their full-time job. And so like maybe it's because like, you know, breaking your car down like that, it's probably not worth it. I don't know, who knows. But I've been seeing it less because like it's always been booked and busy around my area and around the area surrounding my area to get an Uber or a Lyft car. But like as the time went on since 2020, it's been harder and harder to not only get one but a quality one at that. But yeah, I just thought it was like weird, and I just want to talk about it. And I wonder, will there be like a new delivery app? Will there be like a new like rideshare app? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe because Uber and Lyft is wasting a lot of money, they lose a lot of money. Maybe no one's coming up with a new one. Who knows? And Uber and Lyft is only up because of their investors. Because just like Amazon, just like these other big companies, they would have been done gone if it wasn't for a bunch of rich people putting in money. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. It's kind of weird. It's just like something I noticed. It's like, oh wow. So yeah. Bye.